Hey, how's it going? Um, oh shoot, I forgot. Sorry. I Oh no, you know what? I forgot to. Usually I don't know. I send out like a tweet or something like when I go online, and usually I write it before I actually start streaming, so that way I can just click send. I forgot to do that, and instead of I'll just retweet something instead of bothering to do that. So that should be fine. All right, hello. How's it going? Well, with that great of an introduction, I might as well just jump right into it. So yeah, yesterday we added in environment animations, not just to special layers. We had environment animations on special layers, but now we have environment animations on like regular layers too. Here, I'll put the script running. Maybe we'll even see one at some point. Um, so let's make this the what the crap? Let's make this the true version of the script. I think sometimes when I hit shift, I accidentally hit shift enter, and I think shift enter means like go to new line, which is weird. But okay. Let's run the script, and yeah. So yeah, right. So after getting environment gifs or environment animations working, I made like a waterfall animation, and that is like working and stuff. But then like use case that I knew of for this tech was the tech. It was really wasn't that big of a change. It was the watermill animation. So I think that's probably the first thing that I want to do today. The more Twitter accounts thing. I really should do that offline because it's gonna be really mundane and really boring. Micro Awesome, hey, how's it going? Welcome. Oh, I actually have to make the art look stupid for a second because I forgot to do that. I'm just gonna drag it down to the corner, and it freezes, and then it goes crazy for a minute. But okay, there we go. Yeah, so watermill animation. This one's actually gonna be really simple. I probably could have done this one yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm at a stopping point, so I'll wrap it up for now. But no, yes, there might actually only be 2 frames of animation for this too. The all that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna spin this wheel. I'm just gonna make it so that like this mill actually like rotates in the water. So yeah, the volume isn't working now. Add doesn't work. I don't know what you're trying to tell me, but I'm pretty sure things are good on my side. So I'm assuming you're encountering technical difficulties. I hope you get those resolved. Okay. Uh, let's yeah, okay, so let's save a new image of ng1. The way I set up like the tech, it expects there to be 4 images. So even if we only have 2 frames of animation, I'll just be repeating. Actually, oh yeah, you know what? Hmm. Well, yeah, I'll save all of them now just in case I have to rerun the script, so that way it won't crash. Uh, but then yeah, like once I so right, so now let's open at least one other frame of animation for comparison, and oh yeah, let's get the zooms like similar. So 338, 338. Let's zoom to the same distance on both of these. And then try and like it might not line up perfectly, but let's try and get it lined up like close. So like I'll line it up like right to the edge of the building on the side of the screen. If I use like a point of reference, it's usually easier. You know, what I just noticed is that there's like a pixel gap in this building. I don't know if I care to fix that right now. All right, so these are actually lined up now. So now, which one? Okay, so this is like, I mean, it doesn't matter which frame of animation is which, but uh, what happened while you were gone? That's a good question. A lot, probably. Uh, like the longer you were gone, like I don't know. Yeah, I'm guessing the graphics probably look different because that's like the biggest change that we've made in like the past few months has been like the graphical changes. So yeah. Thank you, Snappy. um, okay, so yeah, like I was saying, this is a very simple animation, very simple change. basically like where there are dark lines, there will be light lines, and where there are light lines, there will be dark lines. So let's should I do like a separate layer or yeah, I think I will do a separate layer. So first I'll do a separate layer. We'll color pick the lighter of the lines, and we'll because the darker lines are thicker, so it'll be easier to see the lighter lines if I draw those over. And then so yeah, so basically like so now using a bigger brush, not a huge brush, but like slightly bigger brush. Let's go in and basically like try and draw these slat lines. We'll want to keep them roughly the same width as like has been established for the. Oh, you know what? I drank coffee this morning, and I don't usually. So like my hands. Oh, I should not be doing art right now, because like my hands are like as shaky as they will ever be. I did not think that through. Right, so my literally like my pen hand is like woo exciting. This is new. I literally like I'm like off coffee. I don't know. I honestly don't have a good reason for like why I had it this morning. You know what part of it is that I've been making a lot of smoothies lately, and one way that I found to add like a nice kick of flavor to a smoothie without like bumping up the calorie count or without like changing the recipe too dramatically is just to in place of water use coffee, and it's really good, and I have no self-control, and so I don't know, I just I'll have to I'll have to be more I'll literally have to be more responsible about that, because this is like literally interfering with my ability to get work done right now. And it's gonna interfere with my ability to get work done later too, because I'm gonna crash later. I'm gonna like once the coffee like I'm still on like this caffeine high, so like once that wears off, I'm going to just be like dead. Oh gosh, what have I done to myself? So it might be an interesting stream today. I don't know. I don't know exactly what to expect from it, but we'll try and stay productive. We'll do what we can do, and we'll see how it works out. All right, all right. I'll calm down. I'll calm down a little bit. Okay, so as you might have noticed, oh wait, what was this? You finally got the effort to actually learn a single programming language and stick to it. That's awesome. Oh, and it's Hacks. Oh, that's awesome. Hacks is the one that I want to learn. Ooh, yeah. Okay, cool. That is awesome. That is not just even micro awesome. That is like significant that is like measurable quantities of awesome. That is like perceptibly awesome. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about the stream today. Oh yeah, so what I was gonna say is so I'm working on art, as you might have noticed, and as usual, when I'm working on art, I don't really have much to say, which is part of why I like just fell into hysterics for a moment there. But I do, as is typically the case when I'm working on art, I do very much encourage anyone, if you have questions, please feel free to ask, because there's an excellent opportunity for me to talk about what you want me to be talking about, rather than me to be like just rambling about like my coffee intake and other various miscellany. Doo-doo-doo. I don't tend to think of like caffeine as like, I don't know, caffeine is so commonplace, right? Like there are so many coffee drinkers. Sorry, I'm still prattling about it. Because like I said, I don't know, it's just what's on my mind. Was coffee a good idea? Okay, good. Well, this dovetails into what I was just about to say. Like coffee, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should be like a major thing. It doesn't seem like it should be like a good or a bad thing. It should just be like a generic thing, and like who, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really make a difference. But then like the extent to which like it actually affects like me, apparently more significant than I think about. So I don't know. I guess like yeah. So I guess Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's kind of what I said already, but like the important takeaway is like I should probably put more. Oh yeah, this is all in the same layer. So this I don't want to draw over this grass, so I'll draw over it at first, but then I'll go back and not draw over it. Uh, like uh, like so. Actually, wait, hold on. First, I'll thin out the line, and then I'll yeah okay. So was coffee a good idea? I think Trusty Bard answered your question. How this will turn out, your guess is as good as mine. maybe maybe it'll turn out that the coffee was a great idea, and I'll like I don't know, maybe it'll like kick me into gear, and I'll get like so much done today, and it'll be so worth it. I don't know. I'm not necessarily banking on that outcome, but it'd be nice. It'd be a nice surprise. All right, so now I'm going through and I'm back on the lower layer, and I'm going in and I'm basically like blotting out the slots from the previous frame of animation, and then so I don't think this is going to be like literally done once I do this, but then this will like give us the two separate frames of animation, like you know, like each frame of animation will only have the slots that it's supposed to have, and then with that I can go. Oh yeah, whoops! Shoot, I'm drawing over that blade of grass again. So I should be careful about that. Careful! I said careful. Yeah. I might need to zoom in for that a little bit because like it just runs right up against it. That's pretty good. Okay. Right. Yeah. So once I have the frames like distinct and separate, I can go and I'll probably want to go back to that upper layer and tweak the size and the spacing and like a few some aspects of like how those new panels look or slats or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. So, um, hmm. Is everyone more manic when they drink coffee? Like, is everyone more manic when they're on caffeine? I feel like, I feel like I hope so. Just because I know oops, crap, I keep drawing over that stupid piece of grass. It's killing me. Maybe I should just animate the grass. That was the other thing I was talking about. Is like now that I have animated backgrounds, there's no reason I can't like have the grass like sway, and like it could have like the leaves of the trees in the forest like gently shift in the breeze and stuff like that. Um, I don't necessarily need to do those things yet, or at least like I don't feel compelled to necessarily do those things yet. So I don't think I'm going to jump into that. The reason I wanted the animated backgrounds is mostly just for this thing here. Do-do-do. So the funny thing about only having two frames of animation is that it's ambiguous as to which direction the mill is like rotating in. So that might look weird, but I think this is actually fine. I feel like this is actually basically fine. So I'm going to squish these layers together and save it. And so this was NG3, near ground layer 3, or near ground layer frame 3. So if we go to journey, backgrounds, this was river transition to village. And so we just did near ground 3. We're going to delete this near ground 1 and make a copy of our near ground 3. Because near ground 2 is already the same as near ground 0. And so if we make near ground 1 the same as near ground 3, it'll be 4 frames of animation, but it'll really just be alternating between those two. Yeah. Sometimes I think with like with like other things, like when I have like 2 frames of animation in the 4 frame system that we have, I actually just like only keep the 2 art files around. I guess I could do that here. Yeah, that might be a little more conservative in some regards. So yeah, actually, I changed my mind. I will only have the. So actually, here, let's close these. So we will only have these 2 frames of animation, and then what we'll do is Yeah, we'll just change how the loading works. Uh, Wait, hold on, sorry. You made it so that instead of following 30 odd people, you're only following like 10. Now you can watch people. Oh, cool. Oh, I made the top 10. Yay! Thank you. So do you level up or anything in it yet? Are you talking about side quests? You've always leveled up in side quests. That was like one of the first features we added. Um, so do you level up or anything in it yet, or was you there when that happened because you totally forgotten? Oh yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Leveling up is it's one of those it's one of those like fundamental features. Like I know I wanted this game to be like I know I wanted that I wanted like players in this game to have a character that like you know was like theirs, and so like when they when you play the game, you're not like a new character every time you play the game. You're the same character, and so that character grows, and so yeah, so uh like there's not like this game it's I've been working on it independently for a matter of months now, so like there's not like the greatest depth, like the character development in this game is not like so like it's not like a world of like character development, but it is there, and it is like something that like it has been core to the game. So like of everything we have in the game, there actually has been a fair amount of effort that has gone into it. That and like the yeah, like the character development and like the adaptability of like the story system, like those have been like kind of like the like two of the biggest pillars of this project so far. So yeah, you'll notice that like the characters marching all across the bottom of the screen, they're all different, and that's because they're all at like different points in their journey. So yeah, so there is a good amount of distinction happening there. Yeah, so let's let's do what? Oh yeah, I was gonna change the tech. Right. So when we're loading in environments, uh, I set it so that yeah, if right. So if this file exists, uh, then we just extend in all the rest of the frames. But what we actually want to do is just load in the first one, because right. So instead we'll just append on the one that we checked for the existence of, the one for which we checked the existence. And so this doesn't have to be a list anymore. It's just a single item. We're just appending on a single item to this list. The next thing that we do is we check if os.path exists. So this is like a little more like logistical and stuff. And typically like I try not to add like processing time specifically to the like graphics related thing. However, this is all happening at load time. Like this all happens right when the script launches, and then it never has to like recalculate this stuff. So that's like one place that I'm willing to like use computational power over memory for the graphics, because it adds like a barely perceptible amount of launch time to the title. Maybe if I keep going in this direction, maybe if I keep like getting really flippant about like this stuff, like maybe eventually I will want to start like taking some of this back out and like optimizing launch time, but we're not nearly there yet. Like the game still starts up within a matter of seconds. So right, so so we checked if if a second frame of animation existed. If a second frame of animation existed, we know it's animated, so we set animated true, and we start tacking on new frames of animation. If a third frame of animation exists, then we can say so this is when we tack on the self.layers.ping.extend the other two frames, because so the possibilities is that one frame exists and it's not an animated thing, or two frames exist and it alternates between two frames of animation, or four frames exist. There's no such thing as three frames of animation. That's just like that's just not a real thing. Um, so because we always want the animations to loop cleanly, and so like 4 is not evenly divisible by 3, so like we would have to make some like weirder, more fundamental changes in order to accommodate something like that, and that's like I just don't have a use case for that. Like I just don't have a meaning or like a situation where I necessarily want to do that. It's not to say that it'll never be the case. It's just that it's not the case right now. Okay, so then the else case here. So if there are just those 2 frames of animation, again, it's still a 4 frames of animation system. So what we'll want to do is we'll want to extend. This one's kind of weird. We'll want to extend self layers.ping by itself because we have the 2 frames of animation loaded at this point, and so we just want to repeat those 2 frames of animation. So we just so we take those 2 frames of animation and tack them right on the end. So yeah. And so we are spending a little bit of memory here because like although we're not spending disk space to have like multiple versions of this image, we are still loading like these images duplicatively into memory. So yeah. And that's because if we didn't, we would have to do computation at runtime, not just at load time. And we yeah, like I said before, we want to minimize that to the extent that we can. So I don't really have a use case for it yet, but I could do this. I could do this with so yeah. So the other so there's the this is where we load the standard layers like foreground, near ground, mid ground, background. But then there is also like the mid near ground layer where we do something similar, and I could do that there, except we don't have that use case yet, so I might hold off on that. Yeah, because I don't know necessarily that I'll ever have that use case. Maybe it'll happen. Who's to say? All right, I think that's done now. I mean, I can test it. Yeah, I might as well test it because it's really easy to test, actually. Okay, so let's make a fake version of the script. False. And then let's run that. And then let's... oh, okay. Not quite there yet. Couldn't open TransVillage NG2? Oh. What? Oh! Okay. There are 3 instances. There are 3 instances. There's this one, which actually doesn't have a use case. There's this one, then, right. Oops. Do-ho-ho. Nope, the actual case is the one that I didn't touch up, which is actually this one here. So, right. So same deal. It's a little bit different, but like same structure overall. So, right. So we're changing this to be. Actually, here I'll duplicate this first, and then I'll change this one to be append, and then I'll make this one just the frame 1, not including like the frames 2 or 3. And then I'll put in the check to see if frame 2 exists, and then if it exists, and blah blah bling blong. So if os.path.exists, fname, oops, I lost my parenthesis, fname plus 2.png, then we, and that's where we say transitions.extend. We already loaded in the 1, so it's just the 2 or the 3, and then the 2 and the 3, and then it's the else. We then also have the else case. The else case for where we so this is again the weird case where we extend it by itself. I guess it's not that weird, but it's like I don't know. Self dot transitions index ei index li dot oh yeah, no, that's it. Just transitions index ei li. It doesn't have like a separate like dot ping thing. The transitions list is just the list of images themselves. Okay. Okay. Oh, whoops! I stopped paying attention to chat. Like a jerk. Uh, you're making your character move currently, and the game looks better than when you saw it last graphically. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we did spend a lot of time on graphics. We put like I think like a month altogether, because like we did like this refactor in order to actually probably more than a month overall, because like actually no, it was, I mean, it was like a few improvements that like were each themselves like, several days to like a week or so, or like, a week and a half or 2 weeks of like improvements, but like they were all like very graphically related. And we actually haven't seen archery yet, which is one of the oh, archery is another new thing that I'm sure you haven't seen. And it also does something very different graphically, which is kind of fun. It only happens very rarely in the game so far. But it works now, because after we got it implemented, like it was like working, except there were like these weird anomalous things that were happening. And then just the other day, we fixed it so that it actually works instead of like works. It turns out like it was completely like inverted, like twice over. So like because it was inverted like twice, it seemed almost as if it was working, except it secretly was not actually working. All right, so let's go to the river. Let's wander to the village. Let's jump to 1910 to initiate the transition. Transition initiated. And now let's jump to 1910 again to see the windmill, or the watermill. There, so now the watermill actually rotates in the water. Yay. Oh, it's actually rotating a little fast, now that I think about it. Because, like, the water moves at a much more leisurely pace, so maybe I should do 4 frames of animation. Because that's, like, yeah, like, I made it so that the animation speed is a little bit snappy. It's 4 frames of animation, and the delay between frames of animation is only 0.2 seconds. So it's like a zero point 0.8 second cycle of 4 frames of animation. Um, yeah, and that river is very lazy. Like it's not fast paced at all. So yeah. Hey, Yakumus, how's it going? Welcome. um, so yeah, okay. I mean, this is fairly straight. This is fairly easy work. So actually, apparently, like because it's not going to be a 2 frames of animation. It's not going to be a 2 framer animation anymore. I guess that thing that I just changed, like the little like loading piece that we just put in. Technically, there won't be a use case for it because. Okay, so I'm going to change. I'm going to insert a new frame of animation between each of these frames of animation. So I'm going to change the one that was NG1. I'm going to change that to NG2. So now let's copy these and so let's put in a new NG1 and a new NG3. And then let's make those pretty things. Pretty intermediary steps wherein we can have the oops, I had the open dialog open when I tried to open stuff, and so it didn't open stuff. Oh, the irony! Oh, the bitter irony! All right, so ng 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we can have it. We can have it like tilt at a nice and leisurely pace. So what we want to do here is basically like put the slats halfway between where they are. Oh yeah, let's do the zoom thing so that like I can look at this. So 423. 423. Let's go to 423 zoom on all of these, and let's line up the images so we can actually like click through. It's easier to so Paint.net is not specifically like well, I don't know. I've never talked to the developers of Paint.net, but I assume like it's a paint program. It's not specifically an animation studio, as far as I can tell. But what's funny is that it actually like some of the things about it like turn out to make it like fairly practical for animation. Like I tried to switch to GIMP at one point, but like one of the things that GIMP doesn't apparently have that that this does have is the tabs. So like I can open all of these layers in like the same window, and if I line up the images, then I can just like, so there are shortcuts, Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, to just flip between those images, and so I can just I can actually like kind of preview the animation that way. So like there's not like, as far as I don't know, there's not like a uh, class player extends fix sprite. Oh, flick sprite, as in like Flixel sprite. Yeah. Why not? Player extends flick sprite. Sure. That's a very corporeal interpretation of like what a player is. Another way to interpret it would be that, you know, like the player has a flick sprite, but maybe that's just the difference between like you know, like inheritance modeling versus like an entity component type thing. I don't necessarily. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Okay. Right. So what was I doing? Yeah. For these two new frames of animation, we basically want the slats to be halfway between where they were in these other two frames of animation. So let me think of how that'll line up exactly. I guess we'll basically want. Sorry. I guess we'll basically want. Yeah, what's the best way to render that? Or like, what's the best like procedure to get that effect? I guess. Okay, so yeah, when I was lining these up, there was a thin margin between them. So yeah, so the center is like the center of these intermediary slats will be slightly below the bottom of these slats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to set this the opacity of this layer to not be 100%. I'll put it like somewhere around 50%, because I'm going to be using the same color as the slats on each layer. However, they're going to be overlapping. They're going to be partially overlapping. Whereas before I was drawing them just on the darker layer and I actually had like the line guidelines in between. Here we're going to be drawing them like basically on top of each other. And so if I don't, so here I'll definitely have to go back in later and do some like line correction, because like I can't even see how I can see the bottom line, like where the bottom of these slats lie, but I can't even see where the top of the slats lie. So yeah, for now I'm just gonna worry about the bottom of the slats. Yeah, so we'll roughen the bottom of the slats, and then we'll go back and add in the slat tops. Later, once we've like eliminated the remnant background slat from the previous frame, and etc., etc. If that didn't make sense, stay tuned, and we will demonstrate precisely what I was just trying to explain. This one I can tell is way too tall because it's extending both above and below, and it's not like a magical growing slat. It's right. Okay, so yeah. Oh, I probably don't. Okay, I think I'm bringing these a little too far down. So I'm gonna bring these back up slightly. I think I was like kind of like centering them correctly, but I was making them too wide. So yeah, again, like unlike last time, I will have to like flip between. Can I have another layer on top? I can have like as many layers as I want. Look here, I'm gonna add like a ton of layers on top, and I'm not gonna use any of them. I'm still only gonna be using layer 2. But look at all those layers we got on top. Yeah, welcome to Layer Town. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, what am I doing here? I need a smaller brush. Because like the slats get really, they don't actually, like the slats aren't actually thinner up here, but like because of perspective, they're like foreshortened. So, yeah, yeah. I apologize about the caffeination. I probably won't get in the habit of doing this because I feel manic. I don't know. I don't feel it like strongly enough to actually like curb it and like control myself. But like as soon as it manifests, I feel immediately like, wow, what am I doing? Who am I right now? All right. So I don't have to be as precise because, like I said, I'm gonna come back and draw over these things later. So that stupid blade of grass. I should have just cut that blade of grass. Like literally, just cut it from the game. Uh, Back when I had the chance. Not that I don't have the chance now, but all right. Uh, I'm in love with the cocoa. Cocoa being coffee in this context. Right. So, um, right. So now I'm going to go to the background layer, and I'm going to get rid of the other slats, like the slats from the previous frame of animation. Very gentle, very careful. Remembering to pick up the brush intermittently, because if I don't ever pick up the brush and I accidentally go out of the lines and I have to use undo, then I'll have to undo like all of this like fiddly diddly doodly doop. But yes, we will be careful about these things. I think the slats came out pretty okay. I mean, they're gonna need a little bit of touch up, but not like tons, so that's cool. Oh, that stupid blade of grass. That blade of grass is like my arch nemesis, basically. I don't think it would be if I hadn't drank all that caffeine. But I drank that caffeine. Oh, this little bit of water, too. I should animate this little bit of water, just so it looks like it's like splashing and gurgling a little bit. I'll want to do it in a very restrained way, though, because like as we noticed, that river is very lazy. So it wouldn't be splashing and gurgling that much. There would be a little bit of churn to it, just because yeah, like water with nothing like poking into it is just like magnitudes more placid than water with like anything. Like if you have still water or even just like slowly moving water, like the difference between the surface of it as it is and like if you like try and like put anything in or on the water, like it's just, it's just immediately like like chaos, like all these like ripples and waves. Yeah, subtle. Oh, okay, that's. So I thought you knew this by now, Luminardi. But like that's that's not what we do. That's not things we say in this chat channel. So I'm giving you a 24-hour ban. I might take it off if I think that if I feel through the ether that like maybe you do understand what's going on here, but like you should have known better. So you're welcome to continue watching, but you're not welcome to participate in chat if that's the type of participation that you'll be having in chat. So heads up. Yo, do you not like the layers? Fine, we'll get rid of the layers. These layers were just symbolic. They were symbolic of our freedom as developers to develop as we choose. We have mastery and control. Oh yeah, these slots definitely need work, but yeah, they definitely need a lot of work. So like yeah, so what we have for the animation now is like kind of like this sort of thing, and it'll be moving like more like this. So yeah, so the thickness is definitely way off on those new slats, but like the and we're still missing a frame of animation, but like it's gisty relative to like what we want overall. So yeah, these slats all have to get a little thinner. So let's just shave them off the top edge, because the bottom edges hypothetically are pretty well lined up so that they are kind of where we want them, presumably. I mean, I might have been a little bit off with that, but presumably they're roughly approximately so and so, whatnot, and what have you, etc. and so forth and so on and so forth and on forth. Ah, coffee. Coffee, coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Coffee. Um, sorry. Ah, coffee. Coffee. Coffee is just a part of me now. It's literally Coffee and I are co-pilots on this crazy journey. Yes, I can hear myself. I can hear how crazy I sound right now. Don't you worry about that. Hey, congratulations, someone. Luminardi, congratulations on leveling up before you got banned. Um, um, oh, what's chat doing? Hey, Zira, how's it going? Welcome. I am. I'm super drunk today. I'm drunk on caffeine. I drunk way too much caffeine, and I'm having quite a day. But yeah, it is good to see you as ever, Mr. Maverick. How have you been? How are you doing today? Are you is your mind altered by any like strange substances that you have consumed, or otherwise intook? That's not exactly the best conversation starter, but whatever. All right, so they're still a little too thick in places. Specifically, these ones down here. I mean, it'd be easier to like rough these in if like the spacing between like the slats and like if the light and the shadow were like equi width or something, or like even roughly equi width. But they're very not. So, oh, you know what's also awkward? I think on the original frame of animation, one thing that's just a little awkward is that like, oh wait, did I do that intentionally? Nah, not really. One thing that I did like on this first frame of animation that's like kind of like making the other frames of animation look weird is that the slats are not like horizontal. They're like slightly like awkwardly tilted. So I think I'm actually going to fix that on the original frame of animation. So that way I can just draw it more consistently on the other frames and it won't look as weird. So just like a little touch up here. Like they for some reason they like all have this like up hook on the edge, and I don't know what that's about. I don't think I did that intentionally. Um, so like yeah, they all like hooked up slightly on the edge, so so like they were a little high on the top and a little high on the a little, yeah, just a little bit like that. So just by like evening them out them just ever so slightly, I think that'll help the animation a little bit. Yeah. All right, so it's still too thick here, still slightly too thick on like basically all of them. So yeah. All right. All right, that's probably too thin. It's a subtle balance. Subtle balance that we're reaching for here. Alright, how's like something like that? Again, these lines are just like not flat. We're just making it really hard to animate, but let's try and flatten them out a little bit. How's that? Yeah, that's probably fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be not as bad as it was a minute ago. Still too thick. And all right, I think I'll limit myself to like this. I'll do like one more like thickness pass on some of this stuff, and then I'll say like, you know, good or bad, like it's done. Like perfect or not, it's done. Because I can't just spend all day like tweaking the widths of these things. But I guess it'll be good to know for like that last frame of animation that like just, you know, whatever I think is like the right thickness is probably too thick, and I should probably just like from the start like just tone it down, just like dial it. Just dial it down a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna call that good. Yeah, that's fine. So then for the last frame of animation, oh, you know what I'm gonna do for the last frame of animation is I'm going to or actually wait, hold on. Let me just check something real quick. The edges of the slats, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, they're fine. Okay, and so right, so for the last frame of animation, I'm actually going to use the technique I used for the first frame, like to make the second frame of animation, because not the second frame of animation, but the second one that we drew, what is now this frame number 2, because drawing like in the in betweens like was way simpler than like drawing. Wait, actually, hold on one. Oh, okay. So wait, I just have to touch up one more thing before I squish these layers together. I still have like some overlapping stuff going on down here, which is not correct. Oops, hold on a minute. Undo. That's partially correct, partially wrong. So yeah, so I did want to shape it down here, but I also wanted to shape it up here, not on the bottom part. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So now that this one is looking good, I'll squish these layers together, save it, because why not? And then I'll use this as the basis for this last one, because like I was saying, I want to use that in between technique because that was just way easier, just way easier. Nope, that's not a good plan, Automotos. I mean, I don't know. Like, if that's how you want to do it, like, good for you. I mean, like, it passed through my brain, but, like, I very specifically did not do it that way because, well, for two reasons. So Automoto said, alternate method, copy the bars to another layer, move them down a bit, move them to the left or right, then draw the bars. Next frame, looking at those bars. Yeah, no, I very specifically did not do that for several reasons. The line art in this game is more organic than manufactured, and so like every time I draw these lines, there's a little bit of wiggle and there's a little bit of variance to it. So for each frame of animation, it looks a little bit different. So actually here, let's look at a good example of this is actually the waterfall that we did yesterday, because I did basically the same thing. If you were here, you saw it. So for the cave transition to the river, we made all these layers of the waterfall, and just look at the waterfall here. I'm not going to zoom in or anything, but just look at the waterfall there, and notice how the lines just kind of like emanate out. So like specifically the lines like at the base of the waterfall, like they're just these concentric circles that kind of just emanate out from the waterfall. And one thing you'll notice if I go slowly and I click through it like frame by frame, is that they're really wiggly. Like there's no like logic or sense to them. So like you know, to use a comparison, like Automoto's suggestion for this technique would have been, you know, the like the correlate or like the comparative technique would have been to take the previous frame of animation, copy it, paste it, scale it up. But again, that would have like, there's nothing like sacred about the lines that I draw on any frame of animation. So to force that, yeah, okay. So I guess it's like right, like, so if this project was like done with vector art and like the lines were all really sharp and like precise and like orthogonal and like, you know, like straight lines even, then yeah, so that would be, yeah, and then so long story short, the reason I didn't do any of that stuff and did specifically the exact opposite is that that is the nature of the lines in this project. So all right, so right, yeah. So so this frame of animation was like the wiggly one, the one that was like, or I mean they're all wiggly, but like this was the one like the noodly one that was like took precision and stuff. This one should be as easy as the other one, like the one, because we're just like tweening, not literally, but we're literally just drawing the lines tween the other ones. So that's not what tweening is. I should not be using that term. Sorry. Yeah. So the aesthetic for this project has been very defined for a long time. I mean, well, at the very start of the project, it was actually very different. This project actually started out as pixel art. And that would have been very different because in pixel art, like, there is a little more of that rigidity. Like, in pixel art, the world just, you know, every image in the world lives within like these grid lines, like everything clicks to these grid lines, which are very overt. And so in a situation like that, you can be basically mathematical about how you like what's the position of something. I mean, technically, you can be mathematical about it in any art style, but like you can just be very like, you know, uh, yeah, like it's basically like integer art instead of like float art, right? So, there's no imprecision, there's no float imprecision there. It's all, very, 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 very straightforward. So yeah, we're not doing integer art here. We're doing float art here. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Mhm. For the programmers, for people who don't program, that's probably like what float, what, because water? No. Uh, for the non-programmers out there, float like integers. Well, okay, so yeah, I guess for the non-programmer, non-mathematicians, some of you might know what integers are, but like floats are like non-integer numbers, or like I mean, like an integer is a float, but like a float is not necessarily an integer because the number one can be an integer or a float, but like as a float it would be represented as 1.0. I think actually it'd be represented as like 1.0000000, and or it'd actually be like represented as like a value that's very similar to like 1.000, although it's like actually a value that's like slightly near that number and like not actually quite exactly that number. And so right, so the comparison I was making is just that like with with pixel art, like a character is like 4 pixels tall, or that's a very small character. But like with pixel art, like a character is like like 32 pixels tall. With with this art, like a character fits in, like a character could fit inside a 32 pixel frame, but like there are like fuzzy edges and like the height, like if like so like if I had like a block, like a 32 by 32 pixel block in this game, like the lines would be like, look at the line at the top of this house, like it wavers up and down and like it's wiggly, like hypothetically this house is like squarish, but like yeah, okay. Do I know I when I'm working on art, like the other thing is, so I tend to ramble, and I also tend to spend, I tend to like, I talk in circles a little bit. Like I just like, I know I don't have like a next thing to say, so I'll restate like a single point. Like I'll kind of like, I'll be like, I'll say something and I'll be like, and what I mean by that is, and then I'll just say it again and like with different words, and then I'll be like, and what I mean by that is, and then I'll say it again just by different words. So to reiterate, when I'm working on art, that is an excellent time to ask questions. So if anyone has like burning questions, or even like non-flammable questions, please do let me know. I'm happy as always to talk about the things that that people are interested in hearing, rather than the things that my coffee-addled brain is going to arrive at independently. I mean, I'm always happy to answer questions, but like if I'm working on like something like logically complicated or particularly cerebral, I'm not always able to, like, my brain doesn't always multitask like that. So this is it. This is the golden chance. Not non-flammable. Well, yeah, I don't I don't know what the alternative to a burning question is. I assumed it was a non-flammable question, or maybe a frigid question. I don't know. Whatever it is, though. Feel free. Feel free to hit me with it. All right. So again, perhaps the last step here. Oh, whoops! I didn't do the top part. So there's this. Just there's not much going on up here, but there should just be a little bit going on up here. Oh wait. Oh, wait. Sorry, I lost track of like the line I was trying. All right. So yeah, just something like that. And then yeah. So perhaps the last step now will be to go back to the background layer and get rid of all those other extra slats. Like, so now we're going to erase out once more the slats that are from the other frame. Oops. Actually, I'll just undo that. Slots that are not from this animation. This frame of animation. The ones that are from the other frame. The inherited slats. And again, I'll have to be very careful as I'm drawing this, and I'll have to pick up my brush a lot, so that way when I inevitably accidentally draw over that stupid blade of grass, I can hit Control Z and not ruin everything. Like now, for example. Yeah. Sorry. Yay! Games with movement! I like games with movement. Congratulations, Mike Rossum. Achievement unlocked. Games with movement. Actually, that was the core feature of the one hacks project that I actually ever made. Was you had like it was a completely black screen, and you had a white square, and you could move the white square around the completely black screen. That was the one feature that I added. Alright, so this might be like done-ish. Oh, whoops, alright, so that stupid freaking blade of grass. Grass, whoops, wrong there. That blade of grass just ruins everything. Frankly. I might not care. But like, wait, there's a frame of animation. Oh, in this frame of animation, I stomped the blade of grass a little bit without even noticing. So hold on, let me do some blade of grass restoration surgery. Oh wait, how is it not that color? Oh, is that? Oh, that stupid blade of grass. Okay, it's right. No, it is supposed to be the darker color of grass. Huh. Interesting. All right, so undo that, and then, like I said, that blade of grass is my arch nemesis today. Maybe that blade of grass is going to make me animate all of the grass, because I won't be able to restore this blade of grass to like its original state, and so in order to get it to not look crazy, I'll have to just literally animate all of the grass. No, I hope that's not the case, but alright, let's see what we can do here. Why is it? For some reason it looks like it comes too far down here. But, like, I don't think that's literally the case. Oh, wait, maybe I did accidentally draw, like, on the wrong... Oh, no, I totally did. Yeah, okay, wait, hold on. I just, when I was erasing the slats in the background, I literally drew too far down here. So it's, I don't want to zoom in. Like, it's hard to do, like, fine detail. Alright, that's fine. It's hard to do fine detail, with this, like, tablet setup that I have. Or like I don't know if it's the program or like I don't know if it's like either how the tablet is like sending data to the program that I'm using, or it's like how the program is interpreting that data or something, because like there's like something slightly awkward about like how it like interprets how the program interprets the input for like very fine detail. So like usually I just zoom in when I need to do fine detail like that, but because I have like this crazy zoom, shifting, sliding, whatever going on. Alright, so, alright, let's continue fixing that blade of grass, that cursed blade of grass. I think because, like, apart from the blade of grass, because the rest of the animation is looking pretty okay at this point, I'm going to squish these layers together. I feel comfortable doing that. Because, like, the little cleanup work, is not layer specific. So, yeah, so again, on this layer, let's, blade o' grass, blade o' grass, blade o' grass, blade o' grass. Whoops, a little higher than that. Yeah, that's fine. Like, it's not perfect, but it's... Oh gosh, something weird is happening in this frame. Yeah, I kind of slaughtered and tried to fix, but didn't totally fix what was going on with the grass here, so I'm just going to go to a different layer where I hadn't slaughtered it, and then I'm just going to copy... what's going on here? Oops, hold on, wait. That's too much. I can't select quite that much. So what should I... Yeah. Just kind of... copy this whole chunk here, slap it on there. All right, so now it'll be slightly less caustic. Deselect that, and then, yay! Look at our animation. Look at our beautiful animation. Oh, you know one thing I didn't do very well, and I should have paid closer attention to before squishing the layers together, but it doesn't super matter because I can fix it. Is this line, this like curve of the edge, like when I was erasing the slats, like I accidentally like added some unintentional width to it because I didn't erase enough of the slats. So yeah, just a subtle thing, which is fine now. So actually, yeah, this frame, actually I think I did too much of the opposite on this frame because this frame feels really thin relative to the others. So I guess that's fine. There can be like a little variation. Yeah, no, that's fine. There's just a little variation to the width of the. Oh, you know what I should do real quick though, because like I was saying, like because there's nothing sacred about the wiggle of these lines, I should just like very subtly adjust the outer edge here because this is another line which is not sacred. By which I mean like this is a line which should not hypothetically be literally identical in every frame. Oops, that's too much variation. But yeah, there should just be like, it just shouldn't be literally the same line. So like it's just like there's not that much shift to it, but just enough to indicate that that you know it's not like rigid. Sorry again, I didn't really have anything to be saying right there, so my brain just kind of was like, "Here, make these stupid noises." All right, and then I guess I should because because I've done it like with everything else at this point, I should do it with the inner curve line as well. So once again, let's just add a little subtle variation here. Just a little bit. Not even as much as I just put there. Okay. Again, my brain is just not feeding me things to say. Please stand by. Mental difficulties. We're almost there. Again, this is one of those things where like I don't care how it looks now. I'm just gonna call it done because I can't rationalize spending much more time on this. Okay, I did accidentally like clipped the house a little bit here. Yeah, well, no, I'm just gonna get into like a fight, like trying to get this line back to perfect. So I'm not gonna care how it looks. I'm just gonna call this good. Oh, I did the same thing on this frame. Alright, and now I'm just gonna call this done. Whatever. I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm not gonna even preview the animation. I'm just gonna save it, and then oh, sorry, I was not paying attention to chat. Fun fact, Micro Awesome. Even if you miss a quest or an event, you can still participate in that quest or event after the conclusion. You don't get full credit for it, but you do still get partial credit for it. You got a doozy of a question. Oh, excellent. You have a cousin who just graduated from a game development degree, but over here in Ireland, you're pretty backwater when it comes to. Oh yeah, I know where this is going. No job opportunities and no chance to move yet. So one option that you have there. Well, actually, this might not be an option. It might be an option. So if an influx of like money is not urgent, I think one thing you'll find is that on indie teams, on like smaller indie teams, this I don't actually have data to back this up. It's all anecdotal, but I feel like just from what I've seen of like indie teams, there's more flexibility there in terms of like what is like the office environment or like the working situation for the team. So like I personally have seen more like satellite or like remote collaboration on like smaller indie teams. Yeah, so the reason I started with the caveat that like only if money is not urgent might this be an option is that like I think the other thing that you might see on a little bit more on small indie teams is like you know working like putting in the work up front with like the expectation of like remuneration at some point in the future. Um, so like that could be one option. I mean, then there's also the possibility that like I know some companies will like some bigger companies will hire like remote workers. Like if you can't co-locate, like if you're in a different place in the world and you literally can't make it to the office, there's that. Oh, so you say there's no chance to move yet. I don't know if that means that like moving is literally impossible. Because then the other thing that you can find at bigger companies is relocation assistance. Like some companies, like if they hire you, they will help you get there. They will like, help you with the travel costs and accommodations. Like they might put you up in temporary accommodations until you can find like permanent housing in that area. How many lines of code? Uh, Wait, how do I check that? Oh yeah, I scroll to the bottom. I put my cursor at the bottom. There are 5,840 lines of code for this project at present. Okay, so yeah, I just slid over the watermill animation because I'm pretty sure it's done. I guess I should see how it looks in game, just to make sure I didn't like botch anything there, like with like how it loads or whatever. Um, so yeah, so I'll run another fake version of the script, and I'll run a second version of the script which is fake. Oh, oops! Sorry. Actually, I'm gonna stop this real quick because I think I don't know. I just saw the script stutter, like the main version of the script stuttering a little bit, and I think I did bump up the process priority. So, yeah, I still don't know why. Like sometimes even oh no, I didn't. Okay, or maybe I like restarted it after bumping the process priority or something. I don't know, but all right, yeah. So yeah, sometimes it stutters even if I bump up the process priority, but I think most of the time that it stutters, it's because the process priority is not low. I mean, like I could just if I'm feeling really daring one day, I could try putting the process priority up to real time, but I've heard that that's dangerous, and I don't know. I probably hypothetically, like with real time process priority, like it just doesn't get interrupted. It literally like runs at speed, 100%. But that means that like the I don't know, hypothetically if we hit a bug, like if we hit an animated hang or something, I think it would mean that like literally my entire computer would lock up. And it would probably like interfere with like OBS and like streaming and stuff like that. So, all right, anyways, so let's go to the river. Let's wander to the village. Let's jump to 1910 to initiate the environment transition, which has now been initiated, and let's jump to 1910 again to see the hot watermill action. All right, that's a little bit better, right? Because now like the water is like I didn't do the smooshy like water splashy thing, so I'll probably want to wiggle that a little bit just to clarify what the heck is going on there. But yeah, now the speed of the mill is a bit closer. It's actually, I think it's still a little bit faster than the speed of the water. So I mean, one thing I could do is just like bump up the speed of the water a little bit, but like it looks better now. It looks a little more believable. It's still a little faster. I was not expecting that. I was expecting, huh? Yeah, I don't know. All right, learn something new every day. I can't really slow it down. I can't really slow down the animation anymore. If I was going to slow down the animation, I'd basically have to redraw the whole thing and make the slats like narrower, or like closer together. Because it has to be. It like the whole system runs on looping animation, so yeah. All right, so bleep bloop blibbity bling blong bloop. What am I? What am I doing? Oh, okay. Your friend literally can't move. Yeah. So, I mean, working remotely. Well, okay. So like I was saying before, like if kind of like with the indie thing. Like if money's not an issue, have him start his own studio. I guess that's actually like probably not. That's actually terrible advice for like a fresh graduate. Probably, because like if I had tried to start my own studio fresh out of school, I didn't even go to. Well, I don't know. You said he got a game development degree, so maybe he'd be like in slightly better stead. I didn't get a degree in game development, so I worked in the industry for 6 years and got all of that insight. Like I that was like that those 6 years in AAA. Though that was my it was my like business education and like my that was where I learned like I mean games are software, and so I could have made games just with my software degree, but they would have been software. They would have fundamentally been software. I learned a lot about like the nuance of like game development from my time working there. So it probably would be helpful to like work with others before starting your own studio. I don't know if he's feeling ambitious though. I think like one thing that the industry needs more than anything else is like people to start their own studios. That's kind of like why I'm moving in that direction myself. Is that like we're kind of in a position now, I think, where there's like a flood of talent, and that talent doesn't feel needed right now. I mean, of course it's useful. Like talent is by the definition of talent like useful and meaningful and productive. Um, I think what we see a lot, or what I see a lot, or what I perceive. I don't know if this is like truly representative of what the state of the industry right now, but like what I perceive is that like like valuable individuals are like no one is recognizing them as valuable, or like not enough people. Like more people could be recognizing talented individuals as valuable. um and so like yeah, so to me, like I just like in my mind, I immediately go to like you know well, if there were more studios, then there would be a higher need for talent, right? So yeah, that's why I think that like that like there's like kind of an inherent good for the industry just to like start your own thing. So that's why so again, I don't necessarily know that it's the correct advice for your friend. Oh, I'm going back in. Just sorry, just to be clear, I'm going back in and I'm making the water like smooshy a little bit. I'm not gonna like normally I would like slide the view over so that the water was like in the center of the screen, but I don't feel like sliding all the views over and keeping them lined up, and they're lined up right now, so I'm just gonna leave it right there. Okay, so yeah. So what, there's a group of oh, you have a group of friends. You're going to join him too. Oh, interesting. Uh, cool. Yeah, do that. Go start a thing. Go start a studio with your friend. I so like I say that, but I also don't. I want to encourage people to do that, but I also don't condone that necessarily as good advice. Is the like I guess that's like where I'm really conflicted about this, because like I think, oh sorry, how do you know what level you are in the game? It tells you your level every time you gain experience. Like when you gain so like if you participate in an event and you get, so yeah, actually it said it just a second ago. Like so it said, lo, the ghosts of the manor impart ages of history and legend. Perfect commune, 100% led by Mike Rossum. So what you would have seen if you were looking at the screen at the end of that event, you would have seen it would have said Micro Awesome. Like the next time your name tag showed up, it would have said Micro Awesome +3 experience, and then in parentheses it would have said your level. The other way to know your level is to connect your account to Twitter, because Trusty Bard will tweet your level to you. Although we changed it yesterday, we changed it so that only if you're above level 9 does he actually tweet your. Only if you're at level 9 or above does he actually tweet your level. But yeah. Also, like your level doesn't actually do anything in the game. The amount of experience you have does something in the game, but the exact number of amounts, like the exact numerical value of your experience, like details, it doesn't matter like exactly like when people talk about like how many miles there are on their car. like they talk about it in like the thousands, right? Because like it never matters like the hundreds or like the tens or the ones of like how many miles there are on your car. Like it's the gist of it, right? So like experience is kind of like that in this game, in that like you know roughly how much experience you have. You know roughly how much you've played the game. Um, so that actually has a meaningful effect. Okay. So oh, did I finish my thought about how I want to tell people to like start their own company, but like at the same time, like starting your own company is a really good way to like fail. So I want to I guess what I really want to encourage. Okay, I'll put it this way. What I really want to encourage people to do is consider the possibility of starting their own thing, because if they can, like if they're in a situation where that would work for them, then I think that could be really great. Like for all the reasons that we were talking about. I think it could be really good for the industry as a whole, and for like, and as a result, good for them personally. And I think there's just like I think it's really worth considering. And then, I hate this bug. Sometimes when I drop my cursor too close to like the edge of the screen, it just like starts scrolling like an idiot. So maybe I do have to reposition. Yeah, actually, I think I can't really. All right, so whatever. I'll just do this again. Yeah, because if I put my cursor too close to the edge of the screen, like if you, yeah, just a second ago, like the screen just started like dragging, as if I had held my stylus down. As soon as that started happening, I picked my stylus back up, but like because of that stupid bug, it like treats it as if my stylus has been stuck down, and I don't know. All right, but whatever. Not that that was that difficult. Okay. So. Sorry, I almost started singing just then, because the song that like came on that I'm listening to right now is one to which I know the lyrics, and that was close. We just dodged a bullet there. I can't. I like almost can't resist the impulse. I'll try. For everyone's sake, I will resist this impulse to sing along. Um, we can make it through this together. Uh, okay, we're doing it. I feel the urge subsiding. Okay, that was close. All right, so there's just a little gurgle slosh. That might be a little too much, but oh yeah, I was saying I didn't actually want it to be that dramatic, and I think actually I think this first frame animation wasn't quite right. I think it like implied a little too much. I don't think I actually want the gurgle slosh to actually ever come up quite as high as it was in that first frame, because like we were noticing, it's a relatively lazy river. So, hey Sato, how's it going? Long time no see. Hey man. Oh, you said that too. We are hilarious. Oh, I have a new message. I like that. I like that Twitch now tells you when you have a new message, because like I never check my messages. I never remember to. Like I hadn't checked my messages since like March, when I checked them like the other day, and I only checked them because someone literally in chat was like, "I sent you a message. Go look at your messages." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, all right. So again, let's temper this a little bit. Not that much, because I actually want this frame of animation to be similar to the first frame of animation. But I'll put a little slosh over here as well, because there's water hitting on this side as well. And yeah, in the last frame of animation again, let's uh-oh. Another song just came on, and I also know the lyrics to this song, but I also hate this song, or like strongly resent this song. I don't actually hate things. When I say I hate things, what I'm meaning to imply is that it's significantly less favorable to me than if anyone who's watched the stream before kind of knows this, but I'm pretty hyperbolic in my speech patterns. Like I'll say like, "This is the worst thing that has ever happened," when referring to like a paper cut or something. I think it kind of, sorry, I'm going on tangents now because I'm drawing again, but I think it kind of plays like something I was talking about on stream the other day was like how sometimes you can like edit, you can cheat something, in order to make it like more realistic. Like you can fictionalize something in order to make it more realistic, because like I think like well, I think it has to do with like human perception, right? Like there's literal perception, like there's literal stimuli that we get, but then there's also like how that literal stimuli makes us feel. And I think like the way we reproduce literal stimuli, like through imaging technology and stuff like that, like I don't think it always like is like as vibrant, right? It's never quite as like it never really captures the experience. So sometimes by like literally by like editing, like fictionalizing, by like photoshopping an image, you can actually make it feel more realistic. Which is like weird. Why did I start talking about that? I don't know. For some reason I was thinking about that. All right, so let's see how this looks. So now there's just like a little bit of slosh going on with it. That might be like too much. I probably want to dial that down a little bit, but I don't know. I'll try it for now. We can see how it looks. Yeah, I'm almost certainly want to dial that down, but again, I don't care right now. Oh, and also these two frames of animation are like too similar. I don't think I differentiated them enough, so I'm gonna do a little more on that line, along those lines. But this is probably mostly fine. Okay, so let's save all these images, and it might be the sort of thing where like I should change this, but like I'm not actually going to. So. Oh, I kind of zoned out of chat. A whole lot of people are looking for good products, whether it's Steam or publishers or just gamers. Make sure you have money to back you up. Yeah. Yep. So that's actually the approach that I took. Like I said, I worked in game development for 6 years. Like I worked at a major AAA studio for 6 years, and in that time, what I got out of it was not just the experience of like, oh, here's like all the things that I didn't learn in school, but I got money. It pays to work in AAA, and it literally paid me to work in AAA, and so right, so like Automoto says, that's what I have right now. Is I bought myself a few years. I worked myself up I earned myself a few years of like indie development, and here it is. This is it. This is what is the aim of the game once I've finished it? Of SideQuest? Will be published for... Yeah, so that's the one thing that I do admit a lot, is that I don't have any specific plans for monetization for SideQuest. The closest thing to monetization in SideQuest that I have going on is that I do accept donations, because just from streaming, people are like I think it's basically expected that if you stream, you have a donations button, because like I think for people for whom streaming is like their main gig, donations is like their primary source of income, along with like subscriptions and stuff like that too. But yeah, so I do have the donations button, and then so I mean, I guess technically this is like a form of monetizing SideQuest, but like it happened in the opposite direction. What happened is I added the donations button, and then people actually started using it, and I was like, oh my gosh, and so I wanted to like express gratitude somehow, and so what I did is I made it so that so like there's characters that you might notice that have wings in SideQuest, and that's because they are some of the top donators of all time. There's a donate button. I'm not begging for donations. So like, if you find it, good for you. But if you don't find it, then good for you. And like, right. So okay. Someone found it. Sorry, the music's a little low right now. Snap you out. Thank you very much for donating, SnapUI. SnapUI donates $5 and says, donations! Thank you very much for your generosity and your support. I never know what to say in this situation, so I'll just say thank you. I'll say thank you very much. Like literally, like the first time I had like the donation button up and working, and donations started coming in. It was not go to jump. I got literally overwhelmed. I like couldn't produce like words. I got like choked out. I almost passed out. I literally like I went and like I got that like that tunnel vision like narrowing anyways. So I'm doing a little better now, but no, the one thing I'm still not good at is like I never feel like I've I don't know, I never feel like I've said thank you sufficiently. Yeah, so one thing so the so like the karma and like the wings that I mentioned earlier, you'll notice that Snap UI's character in the game is now like glowing and like glittery and like sparkly. So like that's the closest thing to like monetization that I've done with the game. And uh, oh yeah, so right, so to like actually answer the question, I do recognize that like at some point I'll probably want to have an income, right? Because like I have a cushion, like a monetary cushion, right now, but it's disappearing because life costs money, and I at some point will have to have another means of income, and I'm just not like I've been calling this like that's actually fine. That's fine. Like the little water sloshing, totally satisfactory. Well, no, I mean it's not as good as it could be, but it's good enough. No, frick. I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit. Uh, sorry. Um, yeah, I just how did that word get through the chat filter? Sorry, I'm just gonna rinse your chat. Only because like I typically I like I don't know. I guess I don't have to. I'm sorry. I I don't know. I I don't know. Just like I tend to. I've been in the habit of doing so. So I don't know. I nothing personal. I I actually have like a chat filter set up so that typically those words should just not happen. Like they should just get like bleeped out. But I don't know. Sometimes that doesn't work apparently. And in those cases, I just rinse it manually. All right, so I'm not gonna go crazy with it. I'm just gonna even it out a little bit. So like basically like all that I was seeing that I didn't like is that it was like too it was too like it was like there was movement to it, but it was too dramatic. Like it was like too like the highs and the lows were too discrepant. So uh um so I'm just gonna even that out a little bit. And so the quick fix there is just to bring up the lows. I won't change the highs. I'll just make it so that they're a little more even across. And also this little bit of over here on like this side like seemed inconsistent. It felt inconsistent. So now it's like consistently there as well. So I'm actually not gonna look at it in game again. I'm just gonna look at it here. Okay, wait, here. So right, so because like everything I saw here was exactly the same thing that I saw in the game, so like I don't really need to see it in game again to evaluate it anymore. Again, I'm fully capable of evaluating it here, knowing that like what I see here is going to be representative of what shows up in game, and so I can just use this view to get it to how I want it. Uh, all right. I think that should be fine. Actually, I'm gonna tone down the amount of water here. I think specifically what's happening here that I don't like is that it's like partially covering the house a little bit. It looks like the oh here, you know what I'll do is I'll just like I know I'm messing up the zoom because I'm basically done with this. I'm probably gonna move on to the next thing like promptly. So I'm just gonna copy this and plop it down here because I think it was just like slightly overlapping the house in a way that I did not care for. All right, I'm just gonna call this done now because this is minutia. This is not like critical that what we're working on at this point. So oh yeah, I'll close this version of the script and so oh yeah, so yeah, Sato, that was one of the things that we added in recently was like special recognition. So like right now Trusty Bard basically just says everyone who participates in the event, but like if there were like if there were like more people participating, like hypothetically if this game was running in a channel with like hundreds of people, he says like the top three for each item. So it's just kind of like a little shout out to like the people who are like on the ball, right? Because it goes by order. So it's like the first person to, so it's like led by, like yeah. You got 47 minutes to draw a cat, owner of a castle haunted by cute ghosts. Yeah, dive in, right? Get in there. Get in there and do it. And then that is the way to get it done. Live life to the max. I don't know. Alright, so what else do we want to do with stuff? Yeah, let's go to the backlog, because it's time for the next thing. Spontaneous guest GMing. I've been saying that this is like, this is like what I've been like working my way up to. Like I've been biting off these like smaller tasks because I want to be like, I know when I bite this off, it's a little bit of a rabbit hole, I guess. So I'm gonna be working on it for a while, and it'd be harder to like break away and like do other things. Is there anything else that I want to do before that? Nah. Nope. So it might be time for spontaneous guest GMing. Spontaneous guest GMing. Yeah. So some people might know that like you can actually GM the game. Like right now, Trusty Bard is the GM, but anyone can be the GM. I can GM the game through my secret control panel at any time. And the other thing I can do through the secret control panel is I can appoint a chat GM. In fact, some players, and by some players I actually mean one player, actually has like global GM permission, and so like some players, and by some players I mean this one player, can actually like just show up and be like, "Hey, Trusty Bard, I'm going to GM the game," and Trusty Bard will be like, "Yeah, take it away," and then so that's like a special like tier, but then yeah, like anyone can GM the game because I can appoint a GM at any time. For spontaneous guest GMing, it's gonna use basically the same system, but it's going to instead of appointing that person GM, it's basically going to Trusty Bard is basically going to say, not like, "Hey, would you like to be GM?" but like, "Hey, would you like to make an event?" So this actually ties into the special recognition system that we pointed out before. Like we keep track of like who's the leader. It's kind of so part of the reason this task I'm gonna put it here in the present in the like current list. The reason that what was I talking about? Yeah, no, sorry. The reason that it's gonna be a little bit of a rabbit hole is I haven't figured out exactly how it's gonna work. But basically, like, okay, so we have as Sato pointed out, we have this is the led by system for special recognition. But another thing that we have going on in the game is you'll notice like Micro Awesome has like 3 gold stars right now, and that other character has 1 silver star. That's another system that we have in place that kind of keeps track of like who's on right now. And like by on I mean like on their game, like really like killing it right now. And so I think I'm basically gonna like, it's gonna be like basically like if you hit a certain threshold, Trusty Bard will be like, "Hey, so and so, like, hey, Micro Awesome, like, would you like to host an event?" And so then the same way that a chat GM can initiate an event. Yeah. So okay. So the difficult thing here is that like for a chat GM, we have a document that explains how to lead side quest, and it's like 6 pages long. No, it's like 7 pages long. So the thing about that is that in order to have a guest GM, we have to explain to the guest GM like how to make an event. The good news is that we've added like so many event variants at this point that in order to initiate an event, literally all you have to do is say "hark." That's literally all you have to do. Um, but we do have to convey that point to the guest GM, and then maybe that's literally all we have to. Maybe that's literally all we have to convey to the guest GM. Maybe literally all we have to do is say, "Hey, hey, Micro Awesome, would you like to, take the lead, or like, would you like to, I don't know. I'll have to come up with a language here, but basically, like, would you like to, throw us the next whatever on our journey, and so yeah, so I guess it'll probably be like all one message. It'll be like, so like, hey, Micro Awesome, would you like to do this? If so, like, uh, yeah, I don't know exactly how to convey. I don't know how this is going to get conveyed, but it'll be something to the extent of like, if you'd like to do this, you know, say hark. Maybe I'll just go very literal. Like I try and keep Trusty Bard's like communication like as in character as possible, but like that can be a total detriment. Like if you try and be like subtle with language, hey, snap you out, congratulations on leveling up. Uh, uh, yeah, it can be like if you're too like clever about like how you convey stuff, it can you can lose the message. So I'll probably just be very very like overt on the nose, like, hey, literally say hark in chat, and then also say the event text. I mean, it'll probably be basically like how like what we say here, like if you begin a line with hark, including the explanation point. Oh, this isn't even true anymore. Ugh, I should update this document. I will update this document. An event can occur if you begin a line. Why did I write it this way? You can initiate. You can start an event. So, all right, I'm gonna say how to start an event. You can start an event by beginning a line with hark. If you, or I'll say, I won't say if, I'll say include at least two action tags, words which start with a pound character, to create a fixed, or to define the available actions. If you don't, the event will be ad lib, and players can create their own actions, or players can choose their own actions. No, create their own actions. All right, whatever. All right. So your Wacom driver died. Oh no. I've had pretty good luck with Wacom and technology. Like I can't think of a situation where I've been particularly displeased with how Wacom works. I don't know. Well, I've also been using them forever, so maybe maybe my brain like operates on a Wacom wavelength. Oops. All right, so there's probably a better way to like do the formatting in Google Docs, but I've just been doing manual like page breaking with line spacing. Whatever. All right, so okay, right. So yeah, so maybe it'll just be like literally this text. Like you can start an event by beginning a line with hark. Uh, yeah, maybe it'll literally just be that. Um, so yeah, let's actually start on this. Let's actually be doing stuff. Oh hey, Connor Ents, how's it going? Welcome. Or Says Zonzor. Sorry for mispronouncing your new name. But welcome. Welcome back. How's it going? Um, so, I don't usually interfere with events, but I'm going to, I'm gonna head. Because it was only a silver star, and I want to bump it up to a gold star! Yeah, we did it! This is event type, 2. Where only one action can win out, and it's how well it works out is based on popularity. And so the star was silver because like it was only like mostly popular, but now that I piled on, I bandwagoned with it. It's perfect. It's perfect. You don't. Oh, keys on Izor. Keys on Izor. I'm gonna. One of the nice things about one of the nice things about Better Twitch TV is that it lets you add annotation to people's names. So I'm gonna just literally add the phonetic pronunciation to your display name. Wait, how is it? It was keys on Ezor. Okay. This is important stuff. Keys on Ezor. Okay. We got this. Okay. What's Wait, you said head? Wait. Wait, you said head. What do you mean? Of course you said head, Micro Awesome. Look at the text. It says, perfect head, 83%, led by Asato, Justol, and Micro Awesome. Of course you said head. It says it right freaking there. This happened last time? What? Stop with your stupid monkey sad face. Like, everything worked perfectly. Like, what are you... I don't know. I don't recognize whatever weirdness you're talking about. Your weirdness is banished from this realm. You're welcome to stay. Your weirdness is banished from this realm. To be clear, I like weirdness is great. I'm referring specifically to the weirdness which made you produce sad monkey faces at inappropriate times. Okay. Okay, so this is good. Right, I was actually going to start on the implementation of this on the spontaneous guest gemming. So I want to come up with like what are the criteria here. I think I'll probably want to. Hey, that is the new follower sound. Keys on Ezor, right? Keys on Ezor. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for following. What what do we? I mean, so sorry. Actually, Micro Awesome, just on a very real level, like, what made you think something was wrong? Like, why did your brain blah 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 blah? Because if it's a usability thing, I am interested to know. But like, to me, it's very clear what just happened. Is it that your name just was too close to the word seek? Like, is that the problem? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I think the criteria for okay, so this is kind of like a weird situation because basically the this okay, the way a person reaches the status where they would get called as spontaneous guest GM is by participating in events. However, we have a certain cadence to like how events happen in this game. Specifically, they only happen like every like 10 minutes or so. Like they don't really happen very often. So I guess the first thing that I'll have to decide, do we prompt the player to initiate the event as soon as they reach the criteria, like at the very end of the previous event, so that it's clear what they've done to earn this? Or do we wait until we actually want them to initiate the event? I'm thinking I might split the difference. Uh, so, uh, yeah. So there's the we already have like a specific like halftime, or there's like there's something that actually already occurs like exactly between events. It's the epilogue. It's basically just like an extra piece of text that happens like at the exact halfway point between when the previous event happened and when the next event is going to happen, and or at least when it's scheduled to happen. And then so I might just use that same juncture, um, which interestingly is something that I was kind of anticipating with this trusty prompts for voices. Huh. Yeah, so maybe I will be doing like what I was kind of like what I was like anticipating here is that like I might reuse the epilogue system for when there is no epilogue. Or maybe even not just uh oh, I'm using PyCharm as my IDE for this project. It's I complain about it from time to time, but on the whole, it's mostly quite good. Um, all right, so yeah, maybe I will do like kind of what I was like anticipating here. I think I'm gonna call this like an in progress task too, because like what I was talking about with the communication of like the guest GMing, like getting the player to know like how to do what we want them to do, or not necessarily what we want them to do, but what they're able to do if they want to do it. Let's put it that way. Oh, that's the other thing is I have to figure out like how to like parcel these out. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. You know what just occurred to me is that I might not want to. I might not want to wait. Actually, I might want to like just like immediately call out like, hey, you, do you want to do this? The thing is, the first person who can do it might not want to, and so so maybe we should ask for like confirmation. Uh, Maybe we should say like, "Hey, would you like to make an event?" And then like before we even tell them about like saying hark and stuff like that, maybe we should maybe we should say like, "Would you like to make an event? Like, please say yes now, please," or something along those lines. Uh, because like yeah, the other thing is like they might not want to, um, and if they don't want to, then we'll kind of move on to the next player, I think, is how we kind of have to do this. I mean, the alternative is that we could just have it so that, like, literally one player is chosen after each event. And so, that might be fine. I mean, the thing about that is that it doesn't really scale up, right? Because, like, events only happen, let's say events happen every 10 minutes. If there are like 10 people playing the game, then it would take, like, hypothetically 100 minutes to, like, for everyone to get like one chance. Although it wouldn't literally play out like that. How many lines is the file? Oh yeah, we looked at this earlier. It's 5,800 and like 40 or something lines. Um, uh, we yeah. So if there are 10 players, like it's only like a short matter of time. But like if there are like literally thousands of players, then like the chance that you'd actually ever get this opportunity is like going to be so slim, right? So I don't know. uh, Trusty Bard is friendly Bard. Trusty Bard is here to help you find the adventure that you want. um yeah, so maybe we should just be very discerning. Like, oh, you know what we could do? Ooh, yeah, verbosity. I think we'll bring back verbosity. We'll, I think we'll make it so that the player, like, in order to qualify for this, not only do you have to be killing it with events, but you have to be like playing like Protospasm style. Um, Protospasm is like probably like one of the best players of this game, in that he tends to really sell. And it's not he's not the only one who does this, but he I think he's like I think he basically pioneered this approach to playing the game where he doesn't just like say the action tag. He tells a story. He tells a story back to the game, which is just great. It's like how I I like deep down. It's like it just makes me so happy to see people playing the game like that. So yeah, so the other thing is that that's the quality of player that we're looking for, because we want like, so for a spontaneous guest GM, we're looking for players who are, into the story, not just like, I mean, because like there's nothing wrong with playing the game just to play the game, but yeah, so like it's like yeah, you don't have to, like, you can play this game and not want to be the GM. That's fine and valid. And so like, just to, I guess, like, to improve the accuracy of like choosing players who want to be in it, like who want to participate in that way, we should be keeping track of that. So like right now we have like we're keeping track of energy levels, and energy levels are what we see as the it's what drives the stars, like the gold stars, the silver stars. Like I have a silver star right now because I've been like, I've been playing a little bit, but I haven't been like I haven't been like the most avid player right now. And then oh, sorry, chat. You're starting to leave a line in coding before you put braces. Yeah, so you're working in like a C language, I imagine. I Yeah, I kind of like how in Java you don't have to, like, with Java conventions, like you don't necessarily you don't necessarily do that. You like with Java conventions uh you like so like I don't even remember how Java works, but so I'll just write pseudocodes like I don't know, basically like you do it all like in the same line. So like it's like in like in Java you could do it like that, whereas like in C languages, like the convention is to do it like that instead. And like I kind of like Java. I kind of like, well, I don't work in Java, but I like this because like if you do this, I'm assuming this is kind of like what you mean, but like if you do this, then like it just like this. Well, okay, so for the hypothetically for the exact same thing, this is one line of code, and this is like 3 lines of code. I don't know. I don't know. Not that lines of code is actually like a meaningful thing, but like how much you can fit on the page, how much you can see at one time, like it does affect things. So, anyways, let's do. Oh yeah, Twitch doesn't do line breaks very well. Um, so do. Let's do what then? Yeah, so let's add in like verbal energy. No, we're not going to call it that. But let's add like a consistent metric of verbosity per player. Um, I think it will only be for event participation. Because like we could track just like verbosity like overall, but I don't think that's necessary. I think this is like, I think we really wanted to see specifically how verbose are players with regard to the their participation in events. So there are two. Oh, we're already keeping track of this. Yeah, we're actually already calculating this. So all we really have to do is just like keep track of it over time. So we'll do it basically just like energy. So all right, so our data definition of it. Why does it always search? For some reason, it always defaults to searching on that half of the screen, which is dumb. Adventure. Right. So I'm just gonna add in a new value for like verbosity. Equals 0.0 for starters, 0.0 for starters, And then yeah, let's save that. Oh. Okay. No, you know what we want to do actually though is we don't just want to keep track of verbosity. We want to keep track of verbosity. We want to keep track of like round verbosity equals 0.0, and we want to keep track of round verb count or verbalization count. um, so what we're gonna do here is so the way energy works is at the end of each round, players' energy fades. Everyone's energy. Oh, hey, congrats, Keys and Izor on leveling up. At the end of each round, everyone's energy level fades. A little bit. But the players who participated in an event had gained energy as well. And so you can gain more energy than the fade, right? And so the way you get like the way you advance is to keep participating and keep gaining energy, so that even though it will slowly fade over time, you're gaining it at a faster rate. So we're going to do something similar with verbosity, in that at the end of the round, your verbosity is going to fade. So the reason we're keeping track of round verbosity and round verbalization count, what we're going to do is, with energy, like it's based, you only gain energy at the end of the event when the outcome is calculated, but your verbosity will actually get calculated continuously as you speak. So you can only have participated in an event once, because that's determined at the outcome of the event. But for your participation, you can say like a bunch of different things, right? So we're going to keep track of that during an event, and then at the end we're going to take the average. We're going to take the round verbosity, divide it by the round verbalization count, and add that to your verbosity, and then scale your verbosity down across the board unilaterally, or no, what's the like consistently, like evenly across the board for all players. Probably ancient. Oh, did anyone else make a jam override game? Yes. We had at least one other entrant. I didn't push it very hard, so the participation wasn't super high. But yeah, who was it? I'm blanking. I'll have to look it up sometime. Yeah, let's okay, so let's do the verbosity thing. So there will be 2 points at which you can gain round verbosity and round verbalization counts, and those are the situations where we also are doing voice stuff. So actually, I think we also call it verbosity. So oh no, I guess not. What do we call it? Well, whatever. I'll just go look at the voice stuff. This is the voice stuff. Sorry. Not there. Vocalist, yeah. So how do we calculate this stuff? Rolled voices. Oh no, this isn't it. No, this is this is something different. Sorry. Voice timestamp equals frame time. Brevity. Right. Okay. Yeah. No. We calculate it in the inverse. We calculate brevity, which is the opposite of verbosity. So basically, like, I guess we'll have 1,324 downloads. That is awesome. Congratulations, Asato. As soon as you started talking about it, I was like, wow, that is a great idea for a game. So, good job. That is really awesome. I'm glad that worked out. 3 to 5 YouTube videos? That's so cool. You're killing it. That is that is way more than I've ever gotten on a game. I mean, admittedly, I've never actually released a game, but I imagine if I did, it would probably be way less than that. um, okay, so sorry, the song I'm listening to right now is a little bit like